Hey, um, just saying hey. I've been exhausted the last few weeks. Work schedule is really rough. I got off at 7 this morning. Um, I slept for a couple hours afterwards. Probably about to take a nap and go to the gym most likely. I think I'm gonna do some swimming. I started doing that as a way for me to do some cardio. That's not really impacting my joints too much. Yeah, they've been interesting. Been really hard to make me do. It's been really hard for me to make me do much except just kind of rest and not move. I had a pretty big, good milestone. Probably about 3 weeks ago. Three, maybe a little more. I don't know, but I got to squat more than double my body weight for the first time, possibly ever. I think technically, if you want to get into it, the last time that I was at the strength capabilities of doing that, I I think I was a little over 200 pounds when I squatted 400 in competition. It was technically 198-pound class and I squatted 400, so I can claim that it was double body weight, but really I dropped weight and I was about probably 203 and then lost 10 pounds in the weigh-in just through water weight to be able to hit the weigh-in to then get to the 198 class. So reality, it's not quite a double body weight squat, but this one truly was. I think I weighed in that morning at 181, 182, if I remember correctly, and I squatted 365, and it was a solid rep. It really moved really well. I was pleasantly surprised about that. Uh, Problem is, everything was fine that day and everything until the day after it hit, and then basically been in debilitating amounts of pain since then. It's finally starting to get better, but there's been no way to sit, walk, stand, or do anything except lie down without decent amount of pain. So that's been a bit of a setback and huge motivational not helper. I don't really know how to speak English right now. Really tired. Yeah, so that couple of schedules been pretty bad. Uh, this is probably not good and not healthy, but I've still been trying to do everything outside of the gym the same, which has actually included ballroom dancing. I had set that up about a month and a half ago to start doing that, and about 2.5 weeks ago, so honestly just a few days after my back decided to be pissed off standing, walking, and everything, I had my first dance lesson. My back's in a lot of pain. Didn't tell the instructor that. Probably should have in hindsight. It's probably something they should know, that your spine is supremely pissed off. Hooray for herniated discs. I don't know. But anyway, the pain was lower than my. It might have been lower than my herniated discs. I can't remember where exactly it was. I know my herniated was thoracic spine, but I think this one might have been more lumbar pain. So, I don't know. Maybe another one. It's possible. This is a really bad statement, but I don't really care. I'm not gonna see a doctor. Pretty stupid of me to do that. If it was I was talking to anybody else, giving advice to anybody else, I would say see a doctor, get an MRI, find out exactly what's going on, but I just don't want to. Too many doctors. Don't like hospitals. Really don't like hospitals. Wasn't the biggest fan of them before. But it was a little, I could be much more nonchalant about it. Now, hospital setting, doctors, nurses, any kind of medical setting, and I'm freaking out. It's directly because of that month I spent in the hospital with you and trying to do all that stuff. Wasn't the biggest fan of needles before, but having a non-liking of needles and then all the hospital and medical stuff, now I've got a much more reactive to needles, nurses, doctors, all of that. They actually gave blood at some distance of time ago. I don't know. Time blends together in not healthy ways. What was I saying? What was I saying? Right, I gave blood. And my heart rate was so elevated for that. I mean, I think you have to be under 100 to be able to give blood. I was at like 98. My blood pressure was high. I was freaking out. Calm on the outside. But definitely not on the inside. The nurse was like, yeah, this is a little high. We'll just do it anyway. But yeah, I found that I'm O negative, so it's actually really good that I gave blood. Probably do it more. Even though I don't like needles, don't like any of that stuff, O negative blood is kind of a big deal, so I should contribute. It's gonna suck if I'm ever in need of blood and it has to be O negative, but oh well. I've always wondered though, like, should I get like a tattoo or something saying I'm O negative blood or something like that? I think there's a spot for where on your body to have those kind of tattoos. I don't know, it's an idea. But yeah. But yeah, my spine's pretty pissed off. But it's in such weird ways. Like, I was able to deadlift 385 pounds for 3 reps really easily, very minimal pain. But sitting on the toilet is painful. Like, what? Come on. I had tried I remember a week after it happened, I tried to get in the bar and do a squat. Did like 1 rep with just the bar. It's like, this isn't great. I'll put a couple more pounds on it. It's like, yeah, this is a bad idea, and just stopped. So I haven't done that, and so I'm gonna do like an easier deload the next few days, and then switch up my program to be less intensively focused on heavy weight, going more for hypertrophy. But yeah, so it's also nice as I just weighed in and at definitely the lowest weight that I have hit in maybe since I was 16, so over a decade. Lowest weight I've ever seen on a scale in 12 years. I've really been focusing on it the last couple of years, trying to do it slowly, responsibly, all that good stuff. And it's looking like I should actually, once the back and everything clears up, be able to do a triple bodyweight deadlift, which I'm really looking forward to. That should be able to be done this calendar year. I'm trying to have the long sight, the long run, the long view. I think the long view is probably the way of saying it. I need to go to bed. I am tired. I do not enjoy having to stay up for 26 hours, sleep for 8, then be awake for 16 hours, sleep for between 6 and 7 hours, be awake another 16, 17 hours, sleep for 3 hours, be awake for 6 hours, to then get onto a normal sleep schedule for 5 days, and repeat that. It's not good. Not good, but I need a job, and I need to have a way to live and eat food. But yeah, I don't know, just a quick check-in. Yeah, I did have a rough call. Well, I say 1.5 rough calls last night. God, right when getting into work, one of my first calls was a 7-year-old girl. Her mother had a seizure and was passed out on the kitchen table. And she was called 911. She knew her address. She knew what was going on. She even knew her mother had stress-induced seizures, and that this was not new for her. She was incredible, absolutely incredible. I was floored. She was calm, answering my questions, and I'm there having to ask her, like, is your mom still breathing? Like, can you see her chest going up and down? And all this stuff, because I don't know how I would have handled it or what I would have done if it was a situation where her mother was unconscious and not breathing, and in that stage, kind of pre-death. I can't tell her to. Can I? I don't know. I don't know if I can tell her to. Okay, your mom needs to have CPR done on her. How do you. Does she even have the strength to do CPR? I mean, if she was. Like, 12 is a rough age for that. 14, I'd go for it for sure. I mean, 12, I'd probably go for it for sure, but. Is that the earliest age? Could a 10-year-old do CPR on their possibly dead parental figure? I don't know. I don't know. But I was tearing up after that call. That's one of the rough things about 911, though, is disconnected that call and took a few breaths, a few moments, and had to take another call. And then later on, this woman calls me. Her husband is drunk, badly drunk, and he's trying to basically break into the door of the bedroom she's locked herself in with her 9-year-old kid and 12-year-old kid locked in that room with her. And her 14-year-old kid is outside the door trying to calm his drunk, abusive father down enough so he doesn't break down the door and get to his mom and his siblings. What was really getting to me is that me and her were on the phone for somewhere between 8 and 12 minutes, I don't remember. But she's like, this happens all the time. Like, this is a little worse than normal, but he abuses me every day. And this was her breaking point, was him doing this. And so she finally called. And so I'm there, like, saying, like, this is something you need to talk to officers about, not a police officer. I really, really tried to get that interest, that everything she was telling me about the past history of their relationship and just how awful this man was what he was doing to her and how she needs to get out. And I think I'm one of the only people she's ever told that stuff to. So it was really nice to her, and I just tried to keep emphasizing that you need to tell the officers there everything you've been telling me. Like, they'll be able to help you out, they'll be able to know what can be done, and they will. They will. Like, that's the whole point, is I can't. I'm not allowed. I can't give advice. I can't give my opinion. I can't. So I'm just a civilian. And those are some of the people who I just. It destroys me that I can't do more. I've always wanted to be able to do more. But 911 is. The motivations behind the protocols for what you do on 911 call, 99% of the time, actually no, 100% of the time, it's about liability. What you tell them, what you're allowed to tell them, is what's preventing you from getting into trouble, preventing the department from getting sued, preventing blame for their death or misfortune falling upon you or the department. It's not about helping, it's about avoiding getting sued, which is a crazy, cynical way of doing it. So I feel that when I try to go the extra mile, do something to actually really help somebody, I'm breaking the rules. That's how it feels. I'm doing something I'm not supposed to do, even though our job description is all about helping people, doing what they need so they can live. And I think the most insane thing is someone gets their arm chopped off or in an accident or whatever, and arterial spray, brachial arteries spewing. I'm not allowed to tell them to put a tourniquet onto it, because tourniquets are a liability. And so I'm just telling them to put pressure on the wound so they can bleed out while I'm on the phone with them. But tourniquets are a easy thing to get sued about, so in the eyes of this 911 center, I won't get in trouble for letting them die, but I could get in trouble for actually saving their life in a situation where it's possible for me to save their life. I don't want that. I don't like that. So hopefully I never get put in that situation. Because what I would have to do, most likely, is, instead of saying tie something around your arm and try to cut off the blood flow where they'll have time to get to you, I'll probably have to yell for a supervisor and say, can you give me permission to tell them to get a tourniquet on there, tie a belt around it or something? And if they say no, the person could die. But at least I've passed along the blame. It'll still haunt me forever. God. Those are two situations I don't like. anything involving a kid was bad before you, and now it's a lot worse. Anyway, just I think I need to talk about it. I think I needed to talk about that a little more than I thought I did, because a lot more ended up coming out than I meant. I think I more intended it as rough call, but it was amazing. And then I think I meant to just leave it at that, and then I just kept going. Definitely a hard part about the job. Anyway, see you later. Hope you're doing well, and I hope whenever you hit 7 years old, you know the your address and directions and everything. It's kind of important.